Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Julia Shi. I work for the ArcGIS Enterprise team. It's my pleasure today to introduce you Living Atlas in ArcGIS Enterprise. Starting 10.5, ArcGIS Enterprise includes a rich collection of ready-to-use, authoritative content, which can be a fantastic starting point for you to run your analysis, create maps and apps with or without your own data. There are two types of Living Atlas content ArcGIS Enterprise gives access to, starting 10.5. One is content that is hosted in ArcGIS Online. Another type of content is users can download and host within your ArcGIS Enterprise. It is a unique solution for enterprise deployment, especially for those of you who have a disconnected environment. We were going to briefly introduce both types of content, do a few demos, touch a little bit about how you're going to upgrade the content. The last slide is a slide of all key points you can take home today. Let's get started. First type of content, hosted in ArcGIS Online. You may hear or use Living Atlas of the world. It is the expanding world of digital geospatial content. It is hosted in ArcGIS Online, and the content is published and maintained by both Esri and ArcGIS community. It is pretty popular and well received in ArcGIS Online community. So, starting 10.5, we bring a subset of Living Atlas of the world content from ArcGIS Online to ArcGIS Enterprise. The content, we only select the content that is published and maintained by Esri to make sure we have a reliable source and with a beautiful cartography and up-to-date and ready-to-use content. Because of nature, the content is hosted in ArcGIS Online, your enterprise deployment does require to have internet access. Those content is read-only content, which means enterprise users are not able to alter the content itself from the source. The type of content including different types of layers, web maps, apps, and scenes. The idea behind the Living Atlas content in enterprise for those is we include the metadata of the content in your enterprise portal installation machine so that those metadata is static with each release of the enterprise. However, because content we always grab from ArcGIS Online, the content is updated as frequently as in ArcGIS Online. So there are three types of content: default content, subscriber content, and premium content. It is borrowed from the idea in ArcGIS Online. Default content is a small set of layers, web maps, apps, and scenes. Just give you a taste of what kind of content we provide in Enterprise. It is available by default after your Enterprise deployment, consuming such content without any cost. Subscriber content is a majority content that we provided today. It is a rich set of standard geographics like boundaries, native imageries, live feeds content. There's so much to explore by yourself. However, this content does require an administrator to enable with the ArcGIS Online subscription account. After enabling, consuming such content without any additional cost. Last but not least is the premium content. In 10.6, it's about 5 to 7% of the content. Majority of them is a demographic content. Similar as the subscriber content, it does require an administrator to enable with online subscription account. After enabling, consuming content just require a nominal amount of service credits. As far as I heard last time, it's about 1,000 maps, it's about 1 credit. So for those of you who needs an up-to-date, high-quality demographic content from time to time, there might be a good option for your organization to consider. So this is statistics in ArcGIS Enterprise 10.6. Subscriber content is about 3/4 of the content. That's the reason we highly recommend an administrator to enable the subscriber content in your enterprise portal. If you are the enterprise users, go talk with your administrator or talk with your IT department, because it will unlock 75% of content at no additional cost. That's a huge value for you. Before jumping to a demo, the first demo, I just want to mention about mature support and retire content. Just as ArcGIS Online, we have a life cycle of the living edit content. Mature support, due to some reasons, they are not going to be updated from the ArcGIS Online, and the content will be retired within next year also. Retired content means that content is going to be removed at current release. We list this. We have a list of mature and retired content in What's New doc in Administrator Guide. Refer that guide and replace the mature support and retire layers in your portal for your maps and apps. So let's jump to our first demo. So Amy is a level 1 user for this Enterprise Portal 10.6. She likes to explore the, sorry about that. Yes, thank you so much. So Amy is a level 1 user in this Enterprise Portal 10.6. She likes to explore the available living edit content in this portal. Right now, administrator has not enabled subscriber or premium content. So we only have a default content in this portal. The first thing she normally likes is go to gallery. Under Esri feature content, all the available web maps, apps, and scene are displayed here by category. For each content, you can explore the summary, open in Map Viewer or ArcGIS Desktop, or click details to go to item detail page. Majority of Amy's work is focused on Map Viewer. Here, she can go to Add, browse living edit layers, and browse all the different types of layers that are available as a default content. For example, go to landscape category. She's adding this US wilderness to the map. She also wants to find a nice base map. She go to base map category. This word navigation map is a new vector tile layer, new in 10.6. So she can add it as a base map. Next, she can also explore the content. Go to Add, Search for Layers. The default option is a search in ArcGIS Enterprise, which means any content shared with organization, including the living edit content. I like to use living edit layers, which specifically to search for any living edit content available in this enterprise portal. We can see here only 155 layers are available. Can click each layer to get some information and a thumbnail. Here, I like to add to the map for this USA freeway systems. It's already a nice map so far, correct? Even if enterprise users are not able to change the source of the content, she can still change some property like transparency, visibility range. We can change the configuration of the, change the pop-up of this map, and adding some labels. She can also go to item detail page. Here we can see this layer is a feature layer. Scroll down of this description. URL on the right-hand side show that it's this is a service from ArcGIS Online. Scroll to the bottom, you will see all the available layers. Here it's a USA wilderness. You can click the served URL to reach the REST endpoint. Amy also wants to share this map layer with her own group. You can go to Share, go to Amy's favorite group. Now she can reference this layer in her own group. Going back to this item detail page, one more thing I want to point out is this item is owned by Esri Living Atlas. It is an Esri-owned user which owned all the Living Atlas content available in this enterprise portal. We can see here we'll have 252 items here. You can explore by item types. That's pretty neat, right? So next, if Amy go to content, my organization, you can browse or search all the available content shared with organization, including the living artist content. So now as Amy, she explored the available content in this enterprise portal with default content. Let's switch to another portal which has subscriber and premium content available. So David is an analyst. He has a publisher privilege. But as long as an administrator enables both subscriber and premium content, those content is accessible to all enterprise users, level 1, level 2, it doesn't matter. So here, he go to add and search for layers, pick the living artist layers. Immediately, we notice that more than 1,300 layers are available to use. That's pretty significant. So to click each item, if it's a subscriber or premium content, it shows many places. For example, here in this summary dialog. There are so many content to explore here. Let me highlight a few. So there's a lot of boundary standard geographics content here, United States and all over the world. Nape image, they have a few nape images with a high definition, which is very cool. There are a lot of live-based content, such like water. It updates real time. Some weather warning. And also, one of my favorites is the traffic. This traffic service updates every 5 minutes, and it's also available in Enterprise Portal to analyze the drive time at a real time. It's a little slow here. Also, at 10.6, we include many 2017 demographic content, like pet spending and income. That's a lot of things for you to explore here. So next, David wants to do something by himself. Last Friday, the huge windstorm hit DC and it caused a lot of loss. David is interested to see for the windstorm. Can we finish at end? Yeah, thank you. So he downloaded the windstorm data in 2016 in United States from NOAA website. He likes to find out which state has the most windstorm in 2016. It's very simple to do using the existing Living Atlas content. Go to Analysis, Spatial Analysis tool, Aggregate Points. So for choose layers containing aggregation areas, click the drop-down. You will see there's a new dialog called the Choose Living Atlas Analysis Layers. It is only available when you have a subscriber content enabled. Here, you will see all the available layers for these tools to use. I'm going to use United States state boundary. I like to see the total loss of each windstorm and see the pattern for each month. Now I'm ready to run this analysis. Behind the scene, Enterprise Portal pull the content of United States state boundaries from ArcGIS Online and store it in your Enterprise Portal machine before running analysis. Due to the time, I have already generated the analyzed results here. So to be able to see the pattern, let's change the display style. We can normalize this content by areas of square miles. It looks like so now results shows that the East Coast, also surprisingly, Tennessee and state of South Carolina has the most windstorm back in 2016. It's just one of the simple analysis example to show you how you can use the rich living artist content to use for your analysis tools. Let's go back to our slides. Great. Let's recap. What's the benefits to use living artist content hosted in ArcGIS Online for your work? It is authoritative, ready-to-use content from Esri. Content is updated frequently as hosting ArcGIS Online. It's very easy for enterprise users to browse and search content, and as long as you administrator enable the content, all enterprise user can access the content. Great. Everybody's good so far? Next, let's jump to the content enterprise users can download and host within your organization. It is a unique solution for enterprise deployment. It's good for the disconnect environment if you don't have internet to access content from online. Also, you want to improve the analysis performance. It's a great solution for you. Today, I'd like to introduce you Esri boundary layers. What is Esri boundary layers? It is a set of standard geographics with attribute of population. You can publish those layers as hosted feature layers in your enterprise portal. For example, this is a USA boundaries 2016. After publish, you can see the different level of standard geographics are displayed as sub-layers. Esri boundary layers are suitable with analysis tools with disconnected or connected environment. So, if some of you have a 10.5 enterprise portal, we release two boundary layers, USA boundaries and world boundaries. In 10.5.1, we release a huge number of countries, 120 countries. So as an enterprise user, you can download either by continent or you can download individual country for your work. At 10.6, most boundary layers are released with new vintage year. So before jumping to the demo, I'd like to quickly show you how to host those boundary layers within Enterprise Portal. It's pretty straightforward. It's administrator job. If you are an enterprise user, don't worry about it. So first, administrator go to my Esri, download number of boundary layers based on the requirement. Then we have a set of utility tools with Enterprise Portal installed. You can use to publish those layers as hosted feature layers. Once for publishing is successful, those layers are accessible to all enterprise users. Level 1, level 2, it doesn't matter. Okay, let's jump to the second demo. As I just mentioned, administrator can go to my Esri to download the available Esri boundary layers. Here, I download all available Esri boundary layers as release of 10.6. It is grouped by continent. Many countries has been updated to the vintage year of 2016 in 10.6. This is Asia, Australia, Europe stay as most like 2015 or 2016. So total number of countries released in 10.6 is about 130 countries. Next, administrator navigate to the portal installation folder. Under Tools, Publish Boundary Layers, we can see there are 3 tools using Publish Boundary Layers to publish the Esri boundary layers. If you do have updates of the existing layers, using Update Boundary Layers to override the existing layers. Open the command line, running tools is very straightforward. To save time, I have already published a few countries' boundary layers in this enterprise portal. Once you finish publishing, Esri boundary layers are very easy to browse in Map Viewer. For example, you can go to Browse Living Artist Layers, go to the category of Boundaries. All the available layers are showing here. For example, I like to add a layer of German boundaries. Or I can go to search for layers. That's very straightforward. One trick that I want to show you is in the analysis tools. Open any analysis tools here. If you click the drop-down list, you will see Browse Layers. Here we add a new tab in 10.6, which you can browse all available Esri boundary layers in your enterprise portal at one spot. You can click each layers and choose the appropriate sublayer for your analysis work. It's pretty straightforward. So using this kind of Esri boundary layers to run your analysis, enterprise portal does not need to go anywhere, does not need to go to internet to grab the content before running analysis. That's why it's greatly increased your analysis performance. And for those of you who has disconnect environment, that's a perfect solution for you because we download and host those content in your enterprise portal. Anybody can access it. So because of time, I'm not going to run some analysis, but you can see the benefits of using Esri boundary layers. To recap, what's the benefits of using Esri boundary layers? It is authoritative, ready-to-use content from more than 130 countries in 10.6. The boundary layers included in your enterprise subscription without any additional cost. A lot of people may miss this feature because they're just not aware of, but there's a great resources for you guys. It's a perfect solution for disconnect deployment, and it can improve analysis performance with both disconnected and connected environment. And it also supports insights. All right, after introduce both type of content, let's touch a little bit about upgrade. Upgrade is always a big topic. A lot of people have a challenge of it. But Living Atlas upgrading Living Atlas content is straightforward. So two types of content. For the first, Living Atlas content hosted in ArcGIS Online, yes, you do need to upgrade your enterprise portal in order to upgrade the content. In each update, in each release, we do adding some new content based on the release of ArcGIS Online, and also update the existing content or remove the content because it's entered the retirement. And the mature support will adding some content will update content like that. So as an administrator, make sure index is sync before you upgrading your content. After you're upgrading, the best practice is to replace the mature support and retired items based on the help. So you don't have surprise in the future. For the Esri boundary, so the details of how you're going to upgrade the Living Atlas content is detailedly documented in the administrator guide. So you can reference that. So for Esri boundary layers, good news is that you don't need to upgrade your portal if you want to upgrade your content. So throughout the year, in my Esri boundary layers are going to release the new vintage here. You can just go to my Esri, download the newer version of my Esri layers, and using publish boundary layers to publish those layers. So we can have an older vintage year and a newer vintage year of Esri boundary layers for your analysis needs, for example. If there's some layer with just updates inside, you can use the update boundary layers to override the existing layers. I hope it's straightforward, but if you have a question, welcome to come to me after session to discuss about it. Here is a magic slide, the key points to take home. So Living Atlas in Enterprise is a new feature starting Enterprise 10.5. For the Living Atlas content hosting ArcGIS Online, majority content consumes no additional cost. Remember, default content and the subscriber content. So once enable the content is available to all enterprise users. Upgrade your content as part of your enterprise portal upgrade process. Esri boundary layers are content can be downloaded and hosted within your enterprise, ArcGIS Enterprise. It is a perfect solution for disconnected enterprise deployment. It greatly improves analysis performance with disconnected or connected environment. We have updates through the year. There are more than 130 countries available as 10.6 release. Well, I do not know how many of you have used Living Artists in Enterprise. Can you raise your hand if you have used before? Awesome. I see 5 or 6 folks. So our team is conducting a survey for those of you who have used Living Artists content in ArcGIS Enterprise. We like to see what your experience of it and whether we can improve the experience. Come to me if you want to join the survey. Our product manager can help you more. So I know this is short sessions and I cover a lot of content. So if you have a question or want to discuss more, want me to give you another detailed demo, I'm going to be available in the Enterprise Island starting right after the session. Come see me. Thank you. Thank you.